Next we have Vito Flaker from Slovenia.
And I'm going to talk about direct social work, which is an idea and initiative which developed the Occupy movement in Ljubljana, which sometimes is also due to some a cold struggle for, because no, I'm not going to tell about that. Anyway, so why we chose to call this movement direct social work, or why direct social work? One was because it echoed the ideas of direct democracy, direct action, democracy of direct action, but also because it implies the direct responsibility to the people, because it also is about direct engagement in the movement and acting directly upon the issue. Also, it is an action that is aiming to reclaim what could be called common good and to construct something that could be called common welfare. One thing that I wanted to say, I'm not going to read the manifesto, and it has been put on the web page of SWAN as it came out. But I want to just say some words about the whole idea. One thing that was behind that, and I think it is important, is both to realize that social work was born in the nexus of the movement, of the working class movement of late 19th century and other movements against social injustice. And it is also important to see that social work was always invigorated by the movements. Also by the Second World War. Second World War was not just a war against fascism and for democracy, it was a war for better future. Not only in Yugoslavia and in countries where there was communist resistance, but also in Britain, where working class went to war because of the promise of the better future. So of course, there are other movements which were important for social work. For social work becoming a science, I think the movements in the 60s were of crucial importance. Another thing is also it is about I think about our responsibility to be there when the movements are happening. I think that it is not, if it is responsibility for all the intellectuals, for social workers it is even more so. I think that the movements, not only we need the movements, but also movements need us, with our knowledge, with our skills, and with our place in the society. Another thing that it is also joining the movement. It is about indignation of social workers against what they are forced to do more and more. And we could say that this is we are forced to do more and more indirect social work, which is about papers, which is about putting people in the institutions, and rightly so, social works should feel indignated, angry about being put in such a position, and should be all it is also about stepping out of that role and stepping onto the street. Basically, as we found ourselves on 15th of October among the people who came out to Ljubljana Street, we said, okay, this is an opportunity that we have to seize, but also there is, as it was said before, one of the beautiful moments of these movements are people telling their stories, telling their grievances and hope, telling what they are angry about. And most of the people, these are the stories that we are listening in our profession all the time. But now they are protest. Then they are not. It's not therapy. It's not counseling. It's not moaning about the life. And it is not something that is said in private. It is something that is said in public. But however, so it is complete transformation of what used to be sad stories. Now these are stories of indignation. And most of the people, they come and just tell the stories. But there are some people who need also practical support. And I think that is also an important issue. Of course, one thing that we are seeking also was to mobilize both the social work, the professionals, and the users to do something together. And another thing that we were thinking of doing is also occupying the social institutions. And we did. We occupied local psychiatric hospital, which this picture is taken of the guy talking about what happened to him when he was admitted. And also and another thing was, which is more far-fetching, more far-sighted or long-term goal, is also to create alternative communities, or alternatives in the communities, or because I think that the issues in these movements, or issues now, should be dealt in fighting for the rights that our fathers have fought for and won, and also mothers, sorry, and try to conserve them. So if there was a neoconservative revolution 30 years ago, now it has to be revolution. We have to stick to revolutionary conservatism in some sense. And on the other hand, it is so to demand that these rights are conserved and demand and reclaim the things from the state, but also to reclaim the ground that we have lost in our communities. Being able to do things without the intermediaries of state and market. Rhea was reminding me, it is difficult to say things in 12 minutes when you are such a poor speaker as I am, because I cannot speak very fast as Carrie did. I should go to a course in Ireland of fast speaking. Anyway, so I will go on to the so what we did. One thing that we was common advocacy, We had a phone where people could call. We also did direct individual actions of advocacy, but also one important thing was advocacy on the occupying side, because you cannot speak about direct democracy if there is exclusion. And there are people who are coming to the occupation sites not because there are academics like me and they want to do something, but because they haven't got anywhere to sleep. And that causes quite a lot of problems all over the occupation sites. And I think it is important that these people are not excluded from the sites, but that we learn how to deal with the problems of crazy people talking in the middle of the workshops, how to deal with the people who are drunk, what to do when syringes are found, and so on. So I think that is an important issue because not only for practical matter, but also for the matter of the principle. Because really, if we are excluding people, then there cannot be a direct democracy. Another thing that we have be doing was also a series of workshops which ranged from very specific social work teams to very general teams of loneliness, how to resist authority, about jealousy, about fear and shame, and so on. And typically these workshops were running in like 2 hours, and it was in the beginning people were reflecting on the theme, telling stories, anecdotes, reminiscing things, and in the second half or third, we started to ask almost automatically, because these are not facilitated workshops in terms that I would be facilitator or a social worker would be facilitator, but it is in the manner of the occupying movement. There is always one person who volunteers to be moderator. But there was an automatical question what to do, and then if there was a good idea, then we also planned the actions. Other topics that we did was on drugs and prohibition. We did a smoke in the Ministry of Health. Unfortunately, we didn't smoke them out of their brains. Anyway, and one thing that also happened, a cannabis social club in Ljubljana has formed through these things. So another thing that we did was direct mental health, which was going to the hospital. That was based on a movement previous summer where we walked, and this is the picture from that we walked 700 kilometers from total institution to total institution, 37 days, and had rallies and talked to the people and so on. For the closure, yes, not for preserving them. Although they are public services, but yes, they should be common services in the community. Anyway, so we did a day occupation of a psychiatric hospital in Ljubljana, which was a very powerful event. And first reaction of psychiatry was to be very defensive. They closed everything. And I will end in a minute But then, after a month or so, we had the first assembly of people who want change in mental health, where also psychiatrists who want to do something about it came, and maybe something productive could come out of that. And then another thing was occupying the Ministry of Social Affairs for a while, and suggesting to do the national plan of capitalization of people, of bailing out people, not the banks, with the points of providing the basic social security, protection against kleptocracy, and strengthening the communities. And this is the civil servant who is looking on his shoelaces to untangle the problems of social welfare. But anyway, they have agreed to, and we keep on meeting them every month on assemblies for this program. Not with much success, but I mean, I think that can be also a success. Okay, so I'm finishing now. Yes, I'm finishing now. Although because we are running out of time. And this was one of my observations, because one of the problems of occupying movement is, for instance, in Ljubljana, in Slovenia, 80% of people, when there was a survey, said that they were supporting. But of course, there were not so many people in front of the stock exchange. So when I was asking my colleagues who did come here and then, why aren't you coming more often? They were saying, we are running out of time. So I think that is also important, which I'm not doing now, but to reclaim the time. Yeah, that was stolen from us. Yeah, we were tricked into thinking that we can do something by writing projects, lecturing, and so on. But we lost the time to do important things in our life. Thank you.